Hey everybody, so editing Gino here. Looks like I accidentally recorded over all of the audio from our microphones for this episode. We actually filmed 2 episodes at once. We filmed the Peacemaker episode first, and then we filmed last week's episode. So we recorded Peacemaker, then I accidentally opened up the same file again, even though I thought I named them 2 different things. Recorded over all the Peacemaker audio with the audio from last week's episode. So all the audio you're going to hear now is from my phone, and I apologize if it sounds like crap. I did the best with what I could. Thank you. Bye. Hello, and welcome to Talking Tech and Trash with Gino and Toby, the podcast where we talk tech and trash. And today, in our What We're Watching Together episode that we filmed on the same day as the last episode, which is why we're wearing the same clothes, we are talking about, I forgot already. It's been 5 seconds. Literally 5 seconds.
Peacemaker!
Oh, Peacemaker. Yes, HBO Max.
Maybe it's because you also forgot
to complete each other.
You forgot to introduce yourself.
I'm Gino.
And I'm Toby.
I guess we have to introduce ourselves because we both have male names.
Me too.
So that's what we have to say.
Thanks,
If you're a first-time listener, I'm Toby.
No, I'm Toby.
I'm Gino. She's Toby.
Yeah.
We watched Peacemaker on HBO Max.
So good.
Take it away, Tobes.
Take it away.
Yeah, because you liked it immediately.
I did.
Took a while to warm up.
Did you? I don't think I noticed that you took a while because I was just so surprised at how good the writing was and how good the acting was. Like, John Cena, no offense, no right to be as good of an actor in this as he was. Good. So I'm like, just thinking about it, like, I want to watch more. Yeah, I'm upset.
Quick rundown. I'm not going to give a recap because it's such a long season. It's the whole season already.
Spoilers. I don't know if it said.
Yeah, I guess spoilers in general. But I'm going to try to avoid it.
I'm not.
Spoiler, not for the recap. So basically...
Oh, for the recap. How do you do a recap without spoilers?
I'm not recapping the whole thing because it's too long. It's like
so you're not going to say the end?
The Justice League shows up. Spoilers. Anyway, I got spoiled beforehand. So yeah, she's right. Spoilers. Anyway, so this is technically a sequel to James Gunn's Suicide Squad, the one that came out in August of this year.
Literally no idea. It came out already.
We watched it the night of before our wedding.
The night before our wedding, and I fell asleep.
We got married twice. Once in the backyard because of COVID. And then once. I was going to say for real, but I guess technically it's not our real wedding.
Technically it was. And then we had like our reschedule in the big venue with the whole shebang.
So the night before the second wedding at the hotel, we watched James Gunn's Suicide Squad.
Literally, the plan. I just need to tell everybody what the plan originally was. We were going to like go out, have dinner, celebrate.
We're going to a restaurant.
Because that was our actual anniversary. So we got married on August 7th, 2020. And then we rescheduled for August 8th, 2021. So we're like, we're going to go do we're going to go out to dinner, fancy dinner. And instead, since we are who we are, I
got sleepy.
I guess for real, the reason, partially, I fell asleep.
You hung out with your family.
Because I hung out with my family at the hotel, and they were all drinking, so I was drinking.
Yeah, so we just got Chinese food, hung out in her hotel room, watched Suicide Squad.
Half of it, yeah. Fell asleep.
So I guess the first Suicide Squad that they made like 3 or 4 years ago is really bad, and I fell asleep during it. I don't recommend it. The James Gunn Suicide Squad, I think technically is a sequel or a reboot. I think way better. It's a much better movie. James Gunn. It's essentially Guardians of the Galaxy if they could curse, which is like
have horrible gore.
Yeah, horrible gore, like terrible characters, and essentially like the first Suicide Squad was ripping off James Gunn. And then when James Gunn got canceled and Disney fired him for a little bit, Warner Brothers swooped in and took him.
And like that first Suicide Squad is like...
Did I make you watch it? I don't think I did.
You did. You made me watch both.
Will Smith?
Yeah.
That's bad.
See, I liked Will Smith.
Will Smith was playing Will Smith.
Right. So like, what's there not to like? But I also like Idris Elba.
And I like...
he was in the second.
Who's the Australian one that does a New York accent in every movie, even though she's from Australia?
The Harley Quinn?
Yeah, what's her name? She's in
Margot
Robbie. Yeah, so she's great. She's as good as Harley Quinn as like Henry Cavill is to Superman. Like,
yes.
They're just like very good.
They're very like meant for the character. But we're watching Peacemaker, so the point is...
So anyway, the James Gunn Suicide Squad was amazing. I thought it was really good. I thought it was great. Peacemaker is from that movie. So this is a direct sequel to James Gunn's Suicide Squad, and the show is created by James Gunn. He wrote, I think, every episode or most of the episodes.
I didn't pay attention.
He directed, I think, all but 2 of the episodes, and he's the showrunner. He's like one of the executive producers with John Cena. So it's another James Gunn show. So if you like Guardians of the Galaxy, if you like James Gunn's like crazy weirdness,
it's super weird.
But you also want there to be, because like Guardians of the Galaxy is weird.
Guardians of the Galaxy, I feel like
PG-13 weird. But
PG-13 weird, and I feel like what Guardians is missing, I think because there's like so much story. Like since it's a movie, right? You have to do the story instead of the dialogue.
Yep.
And that's what Peacemaker has.
Yeah, dialogue here is great.
Dialogue is like, we'll say something, and then you like hear this stupid thing, and they talk about that stupid thing for like a minute.
Yeah.
And that's my favorite part.
And I'm wondering because, oh, by the way, guys, hard R, like super R, don't let your kids watch it.
No.
Very R.
Lots of inappropriate jokes.
Way more R than I think the Suicide Squad movie was.
Like, not even the gore.
There's like nudity, sex scene. You see the outline of his penis at least 3 or 4 times.
Missed it.
I don't know how you could. Good for John Cena.
Yeah.
But it's like hard R, so like definitely don't let the kids watch. I wouldn't even let the kids listen to this podcast because it's such a hard R.
Are there any kids listening?
I hope not. Anyway, my cousin is. She is technically 14. Stop listening.
Don't listen.
Don't listen. Don't watch this movie. You won't even like it because there's too much gore. She doesn't like gore movies. But she'll like the shout out. Okay. So, I lost my train of thought. So I was saying, I was curious because, like, when you compare, like,
oh, you're
I got Millie this time. Hey,
she's
Millie.
confused. She's like, it's the wrong person.
Hi, Millie.
I'm mistaken.
Hello. What did you? Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is the chair.
She didn't like the Suicide Squad movie because of Ratcatcher. Oh yeah, I was hoping to see Ratcatcher. I think he survived. Not Ratcatcher. Who's the rat?
Ratcatcher 2.
No, who's the real rat in Suicide Squad? The Weasel. Remember the Weasel in the first one?
Yes.
He couldn't swim and he died.
No, I'm actually very happy that there were no other characters.
I know.
You didn't
except for
have,
the Suicide. Except for the Justice League.
You didn't have to see Suicide Squad in order to watch this.
I think you should.
But you didn't have to. All you needed to know going in. So if you've never seen Suicide Squad, right? You just need to know that Peacemaker is like part of the DC universe where they have these like villains or like anti-heroes. I don't even know.
The premise of the Suicide Squad has been around for a long time.
We haven't even done the
comics.
recap. We're gonna do the recap as we talk, I think.
Yeah, and I haven't even brought up the points I want to bring up about the script. But the Suicide Squad is essentially run by like a Black Ops American government, CIA, and whatever, one of those.
Right, and the head of it is Amanda Waller.
Who's like, if you remember her from the Justice League Unlimited show, she was like super badass because like there's one amazing scene with Amanda Waller where like Batman's trying to be all machismo around her, and she's like, "I'd watch your mouth, rich boy," and you're like, "Oh snap, she knows who Batman is," and like that shut Batman up like right away. Awesome. So the whole show is just like her and Batman going back and forth.
In this, she's like scarier. Like,
well, she's barely in this.
In
the Suicide Squad.
In the universe,
yeah, she's like the villain.
I think so. She ends up,
she's
because
like,
she doesn't care who dies, who lives. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
She just really like she cares about, I guess, American national security interests, and like that's it. So basically, she takes all of these supervillains or like not so supervillains from Belle Reve Prison, which is like, I guess if you're not crazy enough to go to Arkham Asylum, you go to Belle Reve Prison in the DC universe. And she puts a bomb in their head and she makes them do like suicide missions for the American government. And if they don't listen, they get blown up. And if they do listen, they get some time off their sentence. And like a better snack, I think. Some of them get I think they give, whatever. So that's like the premise of the Suicide Squad. But anyway, I'll make a point about the writing. So with James Gunn, I'm kind of always curious as to how much improv he allows on his set because he writes the script himself.
According to the bloopers, it seemed like a lot. It
seems like there's a lot. Or there might be like certain sections where he's like, yeah, just do whatever you want. Whereas like, as opposed to like Taika Waititi, who does Thor Ragnarok, which we loved.
And is
like doesn't follow the script.
Right.
And there is no script and he just like,
it's also,
there's like a vague outline.
But Taika Waititi,
it's a different kind of comedy.
It's a different type of comedy because with that, it's like they're riffing off each other.
Yeah.
In this, it's like in in improv, right? UCB, where you find the funny thing and you keep making jokes about the funny thing.
No. But.
No. Oh, God. Literally.
The rule. Go to a comedy class. The rule is no but.
That's not the rule.
You disagree with everything the other person says. And you just kill the scene.
So Gino knows this about me. We did improv in high school.
And college.
Right.
We did it together. We did like charity shows
after
high school.
Right. So after we came out of college, and then I did UCB, REP.
I did one class of UCB.
And he did one.
So not funny.
I did all 4. I even did a sketch writing class. But the point is, right? You yes and you keep going. But that's not what I'm trying to say. In like a Herald, right? You're supposed to...
Which is a type of
I don't know, show.
Long form improv. There's a book about it. Don't make me read it.
Whole book about it. No, comedy class made you read it.
No, you gave me that book before we ever did UCB.
Okay. Because you're supposed to, whatever.
Back before we were dating.
The point I'm trying to make is that in a Herald, it's 3 scenes, you find the funny thing in the scene, and you keep heightening it and making it more ridiculous. And that's what James Gunn does, even in a small period of time.
Yeah.
It's just, you said this thing, we're going to sit on this for a little bit and talk about how ridiculous. That's what he does.
I'm wondering how much of that is the script and how... Because if you're a script writer, you probably don't want your actors, especially if you're directing the movie, to screw... I know Quentin Tarantino is very strict about, I wrote these lines... You're saying the lines.
Right.
I'm just curious as to how James Gunn is as a writer-director.
I know, right? Are you more open? Because Vigilante is hilarious.
Oh, he's great, but those are written lines.
Right, but we don't know that.
I guess. They seem written. So
Vigilante...
I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
Right, so here's a spoiler at the end. One of the things I'm remembering is him and Economos, or John, whatever his real name is, are walking around, and John's they're looking for the helmet, and John's do you see anything?
People who are listening have no idea what you're talking about.
No idea. I'm just giving you an example.
They're looking for a helmet to go fight the bad guys in a forest.
Hopefully you saw Peacemaker. If not, this is just my
You should go back and watch it, then come back and listen.
Oh, so good. But anyway, so he's do you see anything? And he's specifically talking about the helmet. But Vigilante, who is a psychopath,
the best character in the show.
Best character, is I see leaves, I see ants, and he's why would you say that? You know what we're looking for. And he's well, you asked me what I saw. Be more specific.
Ants make up half the population, blah, blah.
Right, and then they're talking about the importance of ants.
So I don't think that's an improv scene. I think when John Cena was listing all the names of people they could have... At one point in the show, they frame Peacemaker's dad for a crime, and then John Cena goes off and lists all these other people they could have done.
Right.
I wonder if John Cena improv that, but I can also very much see that being something that James Gunn would just write in a script.
Yeah, but there were so many
I'm just curious.
I'm telling you because we watched the bloopers.
So now, having seen both Guardians movies, Suicide Squad, the good one, and Peacemaker versus Thor Ragnarok... Oh my god, Millie's purring into the mic. This is just cat ASMR now. I'm going to stop talking. A surround sound mix where Millie's... I don't think you can do surround sound on YouTube though.
No, she's done, I think.
Anyway, versus Thor Ragnarok, which is our favorite Marvel movie, I think.
Mine, yeah. Favorite.
So now, whose style do you like better? The more loosey-goosey kind of improv-y comedy of Taika Waititi with there's not as much heart in his movie.
In Taika Waititi?
You know what I mean? There's not as much lovey-dovey heart stuff.
I don't think it's fair, though. You can't compare the writing in a movie.
Toby, we run a podcast where we review movies. We can literally compare whatever the hell we want. If I want to compare Taika Waititi's movie to my favorite bowl of mac and cheese, I'm going to do it.
Also, Gino loves comparing, and I don't.
Yeah. So, or do you prefer James Gunn more structured comedy?
I like both of them.
And I really like...
I don't think it's fair either that you say James Gunn's is structured. You don't know. Because they also improv'd in Guardians.
I don't know, did they?
Right, so we don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I feel that's where... So I like both types of comedy.
Someone find me the script and put it on.
Right.
Yeah.
And James Gunn, if you're listening, can you please just fill us in
yes,
on
James
the
Gunn,
amount
call
of
us up.
Because I will say...
Slide in the DMs.
Please. Weirdo.
Or Taika Waititi.
You both of you, crazy weirdos.
We love it.
We love it because...
We're a little jealous about it.
I laughed out loud in Peacemaker every episode.
I don't think I ever laughed out loud during his other movies. I think this is my favorite thing he's made. I think I like it more than Guardians. I'm serious.
I like Guardians. I think I also like it more than Guardians.
I love Guardians.
But we had more time with it.
Right.
That's the difference. They had more time to develop characters and dialogue, and it was an hour-long episodes. We watched 8 of them.
Yes.
Am I wrong?
They're each like 45 minutes.
45. So like,
which is perfect. HBO don't do.
Right. We don't need longer, but like, it was perfect. And not only was Peacemaker a great character, all of them were.
Yeah. So John Cena was great as Peacemaker. Then you have, I can't remember the actress's name. She's from Orange is the New Black.
Danielle Brooks.
That's her name?
Yeah. Don't question me on it.
Who plays Adebayo?
Danielle Brooks.
Okay.
Please don't question me on it.
I'll
look it up, but her name is Danielle.
That just seems like such a regular name
she's
such an interesting...
I don't know if you know this. She's just like a regular person.
I know, but like, I guess because like her name in the show is Adebayo, I'm like, that must be her real name, for real.
Danielle Brooks.
But really her name is Waller. Her last name's Waller.
She took her wife's name.
She took her wife's name, and her mom is Amanda Waller, so she has her mom's last name. I guess I don't know, the same last name as Amanda Waller. And so she plays Amanda Waller's daughter, who like is not part of all this CIA stuff, but she lost her normal people job.
Which we find out she ran a dog.
She ran a dog shelter. I guess that shut down. So Amanda Waller, I guess, being who she is like, yeah, why don't you come work for me on Project X and work with all these criminals? So she like doesn't have a lot of experience in this field, but like she's Amanda Waller's daughter, so she's good at it. Then there's the main guy. Couldn't tell you his name. Are you looking up their names?
I am. Who? What main guy?
The main guy who's in charge of the project. Yeah. So like this is all about Project Butterfly. They like get Peacemaker to be a part of it. They're basically trying to take down like an alien invasion of these like alien insects.
Yes.
Then there's the blonde one. Harcourt, which is also her real name.
Her name is Jennifer Holland. I cannot pronounce Mern's name.
The actor?
Yeah.
Let me see.
Okay.
We're so good at pronouncing names. Harcourt. No. Wait. Who played Eagly? D. Bradley Baker played Eagly. He's like a famous voice actor. That's hilarious. He has a pet eagle. Peacemaker does. Named Eagly. Who hugs him? I can't even find the characters, so I
gave it to you where his name was.
All right, tell me the other characters while I look.
Okay, so the other people that are part of the operation are Economos or John. I don't know. They call him different things. And he's like the tech guy.
I'm gonna say it's Chukwudi Awuji.
I know.
Clemson Mern. He's like the leader of Project Butterfly. Jennifer Holland is the second leader. Harcourt. Mm-hmm. Then you have Steve Agee. He plays the Economos.
Oh.
The
tech guy.
IT guy.
I was just talking about him, but Gino can't do two things at once.
I can't do two things at once. And then there's the best character in the show. Vigilante. Don't remember his real name.
You're literally on IMDb.
I know, but Freddie Stroma? Is that the actor that plays him?
I think so. And he was also, for all my Harry Potter fans, he played a character in Harry Potter.
Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince.
Yeah.
He plays Cormac McLagan.
Okay. He plays the guy who has a crush on Hermione during that whole 6th book.
And I guess he was in Pitch Perfect, too.
I think he came from another...
He plays Luke.
Right. Is you sure Pitch Perfect or like Pitch Perfect?
No, Pitch Perfect.
2.
Pitch Perfect 1. 2012. Anyway, his character is...
so good. Sorry, my stomach keeps making...
He's like... I can't explain him. I don't know what... He like has... I don't know, something. He's not like entirely a normal person.
No.
He's a straight up psychopath.
He's a straight up psychopath where he has to think about how emotions are seen.
Yeah, he mentions like, I don't feel emotions like regular people do.
Right. Which is why it's so easy for him to just kill people. But he mostly says he kills white people. He's
super... Well, yeah. So he's super... Well, that's what I think is also hilarious. Is because there's like a lot of race stuff in this.
Yes.
And like Peacemaker and Vigilante are like trying to be very clear about like not being racist.
Right, because Peacemaker's dad is
when they murder people.
Right. Well, because... Right. They just want to be
Peacemaker's dad, in the comics I looked it up, he's a Nazi.
Oh.
A real Nazi, for real.
Right, so they do a really good job.
Because it's from the 70s.
Okay.
And this one, his dad is like a Klan member.
Yes, and he's like
the leader of the Klan member.
Right, White Dragon is his like villain name.
Yeah, he's also a super genius, like who makes all of Peacemaker's like science helmets that like can blow stuff up and like teleport. And he has like an Iron Man armor that he made.
Yeah.
But he's retired from the science, not from the racism. He's still a racist.
He's still super racist.
So he didn't retire from that part, but he's retired from the supervillain stuff.
Yes.
So Peacemaker's dad's a supervillain who trained him to also be a supervillain. But Peacemaker killed his son. I'm sorry, his brother accidentally.
And that's
like,
what
he vowed to. He
not
fights
let
for
anybody
peace.
die in vain.
Yeah,
right?
so his catchphrase is he fights for peace. No matter how many men, women, and children he has to kill.
Right.
LOL.
And so it kind of.
We were talking about Vigilante though.
Oh god.
So Vigilante is a psychopath. He's obsessed with Peacemaker. So like before Peacemaker was in prison for 5 years, they used to fight crime together by just like, I guess, brutally murdering people. There's even like a scene where like Peacemaker and some lady are smoking weed, and Vigilante's like, if this was 3 months ago before they legalized it, I'd kill both of you right now.
Right.
So like Vigilante is just like, he murders anything he thinks is a criminal.
Right. He's very black and white.
He's very black and white. There's like one scene in the movie where like Vigilante's not part of Project X.
No, he just like pops in,
follows Peacemaker around because he's so upset. Like almost like a little sidekick. There's one part where John Cena. John Cena needs to kill some politicians and their kids and like family.
Yeah. Because
there's aliens inside of them. So John Cena can't do it. Like he cannot bring himself to do it. He keeps having PTSD. He keeps having flashbacks. And then Vigilante just like casually walks over,
like, got you, dude.
taps him on the shoulder, grabs the sniper rifle, and just kills children and the wife and the
not the husband.
The husband escapes.
Yeah.
Like it's nothing. Like he just casually.
So that's and then
so
like
that's Vigilante. He's hilarious.
Another Vigilante. So like almost the last episode, right? So they're at a vet's office because Eagly gets injured. And they have, like, obviously the vet and the...
Well, Eagly gets injured by the racist dad.
So then we have... they're at the vet's office, and obviously, like, the vet and the techs had to help them. And so he's like, we gotta kill him. We gotta kill him. They saw
So he's just standing there pointing his gun at like, the vet tech and whatever.
And he's like, we have a nurse and a male nurse.
Yeah. He's
Hilarious.
like, you don't say male, yeah. It's like, he's just really... He's just, like, a great... James Gunn. I try to compare him to
there's
in Guardians
no
who would be like.
None.
Yeah, he's just so great. Like he's so awesome. He's like Baby Groot. If Baby Groot were like a psychopath murderer.
If somebody needed to be explained, so like he's the type
like
of character.
Yeah,
he's like a little kid because he doesn't understand right from wrong because he's a psychopath.
Yeah, but like a hilarious psychopath.
Right, like funny.
Yeah, and it's so good. He's so good. I think the reason why I wasn't going to get invested in this show, because I mentioned in the beginning I wasn't getting invested, is because I knew it was a miniseries, and I didn't want to get super invested in the characters because I knew it was going to end. And then, like, by the time we got to, like, episode 3 or 4,
they had already announced
a season 2.
Yeah.
And I was like, I love this show.
So let's talk about that. Why weren't you... Because I was immediately...
The first episode's a little It's, like, a little much.
I just don't understand how the intro couldn't have just...
Oh, we didn't even mention the intro.
I mean, we have an hour, so...
An hour. Our podcast episodes for this usually are an hour. They're usually 30 minutes.
They're not, just 30 minutes.
Go on YouTube right now and type in Peacemaker...
Intro.
I guess if you can't watch the show, if you don't have HBO Max, type in just Peacemaker intro and watch the dance they do. It's hilarious. So James Gunn, I guess, has a thing where every movie has to have a dance scene. So for for every thing he does, the dance scene is the intro. So it's Do You Want to Taste It by Wigwam is the intro music, and they just do these ridiculous, awesome dances. Everyone has a completely straight face the whole time. So awesome.
And so when we originally watched it, it looks like they're doing TikTok dances. So it just looked ridiculous. And then we watched like behind the scenes. And the dance choreographer
was mad, the choreographer
took it very seriously. She's
that's their job.
No, she was like, we had inspiration from Charlie Chaplin and modern dance and like thinking about the way you body moves. And I was like, no.
I just kind of assumed James Gunn did the choreography.
Because it's just like ridiculous. Like I'm gonna do it, Millie's gonna jump off. But like one of the things is just like them going like this and like doing that, like
I've been to recitals for my sister where there was like little kids, when we were still in elementary school, and those dances were more complicated than this. So, I thought it was just like, yeah, whatever, go ahead. But like, it was a very serious.
It's so good.
But it's very good, and I guess I like Wigwam now.
Yeah, I think
The song's so good.
It's so good. I have it stuck in my head.
Just go listen to it on Apple Music.
It has replaced
Spotify.
Encanto now when I wake up.
Yes, yeah. Family Madrigal.
Yeah, I'm in trouble again.
What different movies? Show. I can probably get a movie. Because it's movie quality. I mean, we got to this point.
Series, which is so much better.
And HBO invented this. I mean, they started with Sopranos. They started with 6 Feet Under, or whatever the hell it was called.
I had 6 Feet Under.
The Wire. Millie's Tail's hitting.
Hello,
We got Tail ASMR. Wait. Oh, she moved. Sorry, guys.
Continue.
So, like, HBO invented this. Like, HBO had to walk so that, like, Netflix could run. And now HBO's like, no, we're the ones who do this, like, for the last 30 years.
They've got it.
Like, we got this.
Didn't we just watch another HBO series we really liked? Or no, is there one coming out?
I don't know.
I think there's something else.
We watched
on HBO.
all of the Harry Potter movies on HBO. I would say, like, besides Netflix, we watch a lot of HBO. And besides Disney Plus.
HBO's got another series coming out.
Thank you, the clients. Toby's parents are
True.
paying for HBO.
I mean, like, as millennials, we do not
deal with cable companies at all, except for to pay for our internet. We just pay for Fios internet. I don't have.
Yep.
So we use their account.
And I'm gonna look up things. Why don't you start giving them like a little rundown of the show?
Yeah. So essentially,
because people don't know what it's about.
So Peacemaker, in the end of the Suicide Squad, he gets a building dropped on him. And he gets shot in the neck by Idris Elba. So Idris Elba.
It looks like he's dead.
There's like a joke in the beginning of the movie where like Idris Elba and John Cena are competing during the whole movie, and there's something where like he's like, I would shoot you with a bullet. And he's like, well, I would shoot you and hit you with a bullet. And he's like, well, my bullet will go through that bullet. He's like, how is that possible? He's like, I use a smaller bullet. And then that actually happens at the end, and Idris Elba actually does use a smaller bullet, and it goes through the whatever, and it shoots John Cena in the neck. Then he gets a building dropped on him. But then the last scene in the movie is you see John Cena survived. So this show starts off with John Cena in the hospital. He's getting out of the hospital. He's made a full recovery, and he thinks he's going to get arrested, and he doesn't, because he still has time in his prison sentence, because an offshoot of Project X, still run by Amanda Waller, finds him for Project Butterfly. Through a series of events, you find out that Project Butterfly is an alien invasion where these little aliens take over people's bodies, and they're like politicians and whatever. And it's like just a ragtag group of people. Vigilante joins, like I said. He like helps kill these politicians that have aliens inside of them. And it's just a whole big mess. And they end up destroying the alien invasion. And like at some point, Adebayo, Waller's daughter, I think in the last episode, she's like, Ma, can't you call in the Justice League? She's like, they won't be able to get there fast enough. Which is BS.
Superman.
Because Superman and the Flash are on the Justice League. They could... Superman... This is what I don't understand. They gave Superman super hearing. It's one of his powers. So he can literally hear anything going on in the world. So like, not only do you not need to call the Justice League...
They should already be there.
He should already know.
Right.
Like, that's... I think it's why would you ever give a character that power? It ruins every show. But then, at the end, so she's like, yeah, I'm not calling him the Justice League. So she hangs up. At the end, after they killed there's like a thing called the cow, which is like the alien's food source.
Caterpillar?
Giant caterpillar. They killed it. Like, everyone's shot and whatever. They're like walking away. And then the Justice League shows up. And then you hear John Cena, the whole show has been making fun of the Justice League.
Which is also something
making fun of Batman, he makes fun of Aquaman. So like Superman, the Flash, Aquaman, and Wonder Woman show up, and he's like, "You guys are done. We're late. We already did it, idiots. F this and F that." And then they actually show. They don't show Henry Cavill.
No, they show the Flash and Aquaman, whose real names are.
Yeah, the two actors had nothing else to do. Who plays the Flash? He like body slammed that woman.
I know, you keep saying his name.
He was taking a break from body slamming women.
I don't remember his name. It starts with an I or something. I'm not
He's like a hipster. One of our friends likes him. I can't remember.
It's good content.
We're so good at this. So, and then who plays Aquaman? He was in Game of Thrones. God, we stink.
Escaping me.
whatever. They show up and they actually say the F word. I was surprised. I'm surprised.
Why?
Because, like, the Justice League is supposed to be, like, family-friendly kind of stuff. And these are the actual characters from the Justice League. These are, like, not the...
Right, but, like, I don't know why you're surprised.
I'm just a little... Like, Marvel would not let Iron Man or, like, Captain America say the F word.
Well, they're not on a rated R. Like, right, none of their stuff's rated R.
Well, it's gotta be within Deadpool 2.
So,
Deadpool 3.
That's gonna be fun.
So, anyway, they're, like... They say something, and then Aquaman goes to the Flash. He's like, F you, the Flash. And I was like, he said a curse.
So weird. Good story.
Oh my god. So that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
So that's the spoiler I saw before we got to the season finale. But I thought it was a joke, and it turns out it was a joke. The Justice League shows up for a joke. And it was great. I'm just a little bit upset Henry Cavill was not.
He's too busy doing
Too busy. They
Witcher?
showed. I just saw Henry Cavill doing. He made a promo video touring a board game company that makes like little figurine board games. And he's just like the biggest dork. I'm sorry. I think Henry Cavill might be too big of a dork for even me to hang out with.
I'll hang out with him.
He seems like a very serious dork. No, I think you wouldn't like it. He's obviously gorgeous.
I was gonna say,
jacked.
I don't care.
But when he's sitting there painting toys for...
Adorable.
No way!
Adorable.
No, I don't care how attractive
I
you
would paint
are.
with him.
No, you wouldn't. Toby, you wouldn't even play Nintendo games with me.
Right, but like...
Let alone, you're gonna sit
there and just like stare
and
at him.
we're gonna play
Warhammer,
the board game. And we're gonna sit here and paint.
I mean, I'll paint though. I like
And
painting.
you're gonna sit next to me while I build my gaming PC.
Are you talking to me?
I need to get in shape, I think is what you're saying.
I think you...
What I'm saying is, Henry Cavill, even with how attractive he is, I don't think people would put up with his dorkiness. I love his dorkiness, but I don't think even I would want to hang out with him.
Maybe not every day.
You know, I've been spending this whole time stalling, trying to think of the actors' names who play
Have you?
Aquaman and the Flash, and I can't.
No, I'm out. I gave up.
Jason Momoa. He plays Aquaman. Jason Momoa shows up.
We got one.
And,
starts with a vowel, I think.
I keep want to say Idris Elba, but that's not him.
Different vowel.
It's an E or an I. Damn. Ugh, we're going to think of it later. Anyway, so that's a recap.
What?
They stop the alien invasion. One gets away.
Yeah, so one gets away, and like...
Talk about John Cena.
Well, I want to talk about like the character development. Because it's... Careful. It's like... It's just so good. Like, you have this ragtag team that don't like working with each other, that don't trust each other, and through each episode, they, like, develop a friendship, there's betrayal, there's growth in trust. It's just, like, Peacemaker throughout it has a huge arc where, like, he has to come to terms with the fact that, like, he says things that he shouldn't, and... Like, he wants to figure out why he's killing people, and then he realizes he doesn't really want to kill people, and then he's like, I gotta do what I gotta do, kind of thing.
Keep talking, I have to check the camera.
Big thing, he, like, has huge demons with his dad.
Oh, yeah.
Kills his dad.
Huge, oh, yeah. So they have one of those scenes where, real quick, like, you know the bad guy's talking? And
Sorry, Toby, take this over.
No, real quick.
Yeah.
It's like one of those scenes where you think, the bad guy's like, you're never going to kill me, and like usually the good guy like doesn't kill them.
And somebody else, like, you think Vigilante's going to come in.
Yeah, and just, boom, shoots him right in the head. Yeah, good.
Right.
Get that clan member guy.
So that's, like, awesome. Careful of everything. Millie's probably going to jump out.
Millie stayed, wow.
So then he kills his dad, you think he's done with him, and then his dad, like, haunts him. So his dad is now just, like, in his head, and that's going to obviously come into play season 2, I hope, anyway, obviously. I don't know, I'm not a writer, not the writer. But so that's really good. You also have Danielle Brooks' character, Adebayo, has to come and, like, face demons where she's like, I want to, like, be just happily married with my wife, but I need money, and I have to do this for my mom. I'm not cut out for this. By the end, she's like, I am cut out for this. You're right. Like,
I was hoping to see more with her and her mom.
I think you're going to save it for season 2.
Because Amanda Waller is crazy.
Right. And so, like, I was...
we didn't mention, the show ends with Adebayo,
just,
Amanda
like,
Waller's outing the whole program. So, like, all of Project X... Everything. Which
I feel like should have been bigger, like when Spider-Man was outed, like that felt really heavy. But this didn't. But maybe because I don't have as much of a connection to like how important that is. You know?
Well, yeah, I guess when Spider-Man Far From Home,
excuse me, when that
he was
happened,
in Times Square, and
so maybe
J.K.
that's
Simmons
why
was like,
it just felt very heavy, like something has totally changed. Whereas in this case, it just felt like,
also because as a character, as a viewer of the show, you want this to happen,
right?
Whereas with Spider-Man, you're like, oh no, Spider-Man, I don't want that to happen.
Right? Maybe that's where it was. It's like the emotional connection. But so like,
but they erased that anyway.
And she also like has to fight with, do I do what my mom says, which she does. She like plants a diary that basically pins a lot on Peacemaker, who she develops like a trusting friendship with, and she also calls him out, which is I think really important. And so does Harcourt calls Peacemaker out on like ridiculous things that he says, which is important for him to like grow. And then you have Harcourt, who just starts off as being super cold, like just like, I'm here for the mission. I don't want to make any friends.
Every time she goes to a bar and like John Cena finds her,
leave me alone. Right, and then she's the one that like realizes like, oh no, I really like working with these people. Like this is a little family we have, and I appreciate everybody, which is nice. She ends up getting like
Mern.
Just making up letters for his name.
Mern. Names are dumb.
Well, then that was funny in the blooper. So there's a blooper sketch where like
John Cena can't say anything either.
Can't say Mern. He says Mern.
Mern, yeah. So Mern, you find out, is a butterfly who... You find out that the real butterflies, the aliens, are taking over Earth because of global warming. So another global warming show. Yeah, you remember at the end?
That's not what he said. No, that's not
what...
You're like super oversimplifying it.
She said the decisions you're making now are going to destroy your planet. They're talking about global warming.
Right, but not even, just like all the decisions you're making. You're like, I feel like oversimplifying it.
They oversimplified it. That's the last scene with
it was honestly the most, like, if there were people that didn't agree with that watching, I was like, man, preach.
Well, yeah.
She was basically saying like, right, you are going to destroy your planet. So I guess global
James Gunn, known liberal... that's why he got in trouble with Disney. He also
said something not.
But they brought up the really bad joke he made because of all the like liberal stuff that he tweets about. Anyway, so they're taking over Earth to try to save us.
Right. Well, their planet got destroyed, so they're like, we're gonna come over here. We can survive here. Also, we see you guys making these terrible decisions.
So we're gonna take over.
So we're gonna come take over. And
Mern is like, nah, son.
Right, Mern is like, no, you guys should have the power of choice. If you want to mess up your planet, like, that's on you. Which I agree with, I think.
I mean, as someone who likes freedom.
Freedom and also, like, not murdering people to, like, help make a better decision.
But, like, hopefully we figure out global warming, guys. Like, please.
Right, like, also hopefully butterflies aren't real.
I mean, like, yeah, don't take over people. Aliens.
Right, well, because they climb into an orifice, and not like they live with you, they, like, climb into your brain... You're dead, and they're like controlling you.
Yes, they dig out your brain hole and then they control you.
Right, like it's pretty graphic.
Yeah, they go through your mouth, you see all the blood coming out, it's gross. Yeah, again, hard R, like very R-rated.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, we forgot 2 important characters. The detectives.
Those are the worst characters.
I love the detectives.
There's 2 detectives who, basically like the Project X, all the stuff that Peacemaker does, they pin it on his dad. And the 2 detectives know basically that's a lie, so they're trying to like arrest Peacemaker.
But I think they're bringing in an element that's like, I guess kind of in the Marvel universe where like obviously they have to answer to the government.
Where's the police in all of this?
Right, yeah. Like, so we have like the police aspect where like, okay, you can't just like go around murdering people, like somebody, so like they get brought in because he murders a butterfly. Which is also ridiculous because, like, why is this butterfly trying to kill Peacemaker? I guess because they know that he's part of the... Like, why was the butterfly trying to kill Peacemaker in the first place?
Because he's trying to stop them.
Oh, because he was she read the file sheet. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So she, like, read a top secret file. He was just, like, out. He'd been in jail for a long time, so he was like, I'm ready. So he just, like, picks up a lady at the bar that looks like she's interested, and has... a one-night stand with her. She's a butterfly. She tries to kill him. He ends up blowing her up. So then the police are involved, and they're like, okay, who, like, killed this person and, like, blew up this whole space?
And then eventually, towards the end of the show, the butterflies take over the entire police department.
The whole police department. That's like a wild scene, like right out of a horror movie.
Yeah. Well, James Gunn.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, why do you say, well, James Gunn? Like,
Because he's made movies like Slither is one of his. Like, he's made movies like that.
I'm gonna have to watch his horror movies.
He has like two. He has like a movie about like a guy who's a superhero, like a regular guy trying to be a superhero. I forgot what it's called. And then I think he made Slither.
I don't know what Slither is.
I think it's a horror movie.
I'm in. You guys, I don't know if you guys know, if you're definitely watching it the first time, you don't.
Oh, yeah, I don't know, I haven't told you about this.
Right, I love horror movies. Like, literally, I will watch super niche horror movies on Netflix from other countries.
So, like, Slither's up your alley.
Right, so Slither's right up my alley. So I'm going to look it up right now. So we have, like, detectives.
I just thought they were kind of lame and their scenes were kind of boring.
I liked them. I thought they were, like, necessary.
Yeah, I guess.
But then... and then Economos we can talk about his arc, his character arc.
Oh, yeah, so the whole show, John Cena makes fun of him for dyeing his beard, and he keeps denying it. He keeps calling him Dyebeard. And then at the end of the movie, I keep saying movie, the end of the show, he's trying to pretend like he's a butterfly to get into, like, some butterfly hideout. And, one of the other butterflies is like, hey, why is the guy you're controlling, why does he dye his beard?
Like, literally just planting that question, because obviously it doesn't matter, but James Gunn's like, we're bringing this back.
And he, like, goes through this whole, like, thing. He's like, because he thinks he's making it look better, and because no one notices him, and yada, yada, yada. And then he cries. So, yeah, everyone goes through some stuff. Also, like, a lot of the more obnoxious jokes... Because there are some, like, obnoxious, kind of annoying jokes that John Cena makes where he's, like, actually making fun of people. And it's, like, kind of mean. It's, like, part of the story. So, like, every time you're like, that joke was kind of mean and not really funny, it's, like, part of the story. Like, John Cena's character, like, he makes fun of Dyebeard so much because he's, like, dealing with his own problems. So, like, even the more obnoxious jokes that you're like, it's part of the story.
Well, but also, like...
Part of John Cena's character development.
I was going to say, like, he's not a nice person. He's, like,
he's not.
You can tell
deep down he is.
Right, like, you can tell that he's, like, obnoxious.
It's like a front he puts on.
Right.
Sure. Even Vigilante calls him out on it.
Yeah.
And Vigilantes are crazy.
He's psychopath.
Psychopath.
Love it.
Vigilante's the best.
Oh my god, one of the best scenes, unrelated to Economos, is when... Adebayo, they're in the van, they're like going over to the cow. They all just got back together after like being betrayed, almost dying by the dad and all the Klansmen. And she's like trying to apologize. And literally, every time she talks, they make farts noises.
Oh, yeah.
Literally.
It's like the first, I think it's episode 7, or episode 8. It's like
I have literally no idea what it was. It was towards the end. And they're just like pretending to fart.
Hilarious.
Like, honestly, this is the moment I paused the TV and I said, Gino, why is John Cena so funny?
Yeah. So I think we have to say that. John Cena is a good actor in this.
We kept comparing it because
to The Rock.
Right, there's only like one other famous wrestler that has broken into acting.
Oh, well, I think Roddy Piper had a movie.
Who?
Roddy Piper?
No.
He had his own movie with the glasses where he sees aliens.
Okay, you want to talk about somebody else
Hulk
in the movie?
Hogan.
Hulk Hogan.
But, like, of the two modern ones who actually are successful.
Yeah.
Because, like, The Rock plays The Rock in every movie. Like, he's just playing The Rock.
Now, is this because... Is The Rock in Fast and Furious?
Yes. I haven't seen him in Fast and Furious.
I was going to say, neither one of us has seen any Fast and Furious. Oh, I've seen none.
But, like, The Rock is The Rock.
But there's so much heart.
Yeah, John Cena has, like, dramatic scenes and, like, he cries. Like, John Cena does the whole gamut of, like, acting. And so John Cena is way better in this than you'd probably ever expect.
I would not.
He still looks super weird. I think John Cena looks...
He's got a lot of big features.
He's got... I mean, like, he looks... I mean, one of the funniest things you'll ever see is John Cena wearing a suit. Look at John Cena in any nightclub. Like, and again, the man's a multi-millionaire. Those are probably custom suits. They still don't fit. I think
he's a big dude. He's got a big face. He's a huge dude.
Huge. He's got every big feature, but he's just so good in this. Like, I think that's the most surprising part.
It's true. It is surprising how good he is.
Yeah. Like, I want more John Cena things.
But I only want him as Peacemaker. I think that's the thing.
He's great as Peacemaker.
That's what it is.
That's all I have to say about the show, too. I don't know about you. But, like, go watch it, guys.
I do think I am done.
HBO Max got some good stuff.
They do. I am just, I don't know, like, I want more episodes. So, like, the next season is kind of a big question mark because they didn't really lead into another problem.
Yeah, there's what's-her-face got away. One of the butterflies is still alive.
But Goth didn't take over anybody. He just came back.
She's probably going to die because they don't have food anymore.
Exactly. So, like, that problem's going to be over. The dad is dead. He's, like, haunting him, but, like, that's it. And I guess we have to deal with, like, Amanda Waller now that she's...
Yeah, and they can bring in literally anybody from the Suicide Squad.
Right. So, like, it's a big, just, like, open plant.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm very excited.
They can do Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League, which is a game they're making soon.
No.
You want to see John Cena try to kill?
No.
Okay.
My Henry Cavill? No.
Is that the thing? Do you have to, when that game comes out, Toby, you going to play it with me?
No.
If I was Henry Cavill, would you play it with me? See?
Will you be shirtless?
I'm Henry Cavill.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Then yes.
My own wife, guys. My own wife. You know, the thing is, I would do the same with Henry Cavill.
Right. If I was Henry
He's
Cavill.
very attractive.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Henry Cavill.
Well, I guess
reach out to us.
Right? Henry Cavill. So I guess what do we say at the end? Like and subscribe to our
to the YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe. Hit the bell.
Hit the bell.
So we can bother you with updates.
Is that what that means?
That's what it means.
I don't know.
Share it with your friends.
Please, sharing is so important. Like, we only know so many people, and like I know we have
like 3 people.
Right, and I know we've shared it with you guys, so like we want to thank you so much for supporting us. Because it means a lot that you like even want to listen to, like, you're already friends with us, so the fact that you want to listen to us outside,
you're gonna listen to us regardless.
Right, so like that's awesome.
Share with other people.
Share with other people. We want to thank you for whatever support that you are giving us. If you're listening on the podcast, like and subscribe as well, and then leave
you can't
a 5.
like, but you can leave a review.
Leave a 5-star review
Yep.
because we're 5 stars. Okay,
5 whole stars.
5 whole stars.
Yeah.
And leave a review. We've got 1 review. How about we try and get to, I don't know.
2 reviews.
2 reviews? Let's
I can
reach
review
for the
it.
stars.
I have my other account.
No.
I love this podcast.
Oh my god, it's like I'm talking to myself.
He's as good looking as Henry Cavill.
I would play video games with him.
I would paint.
I would paint figurines.
Figurines.
Yeah. So thank
That's
you.
it. Bye.
Bye.